Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is a successful reboot that values adaptation over indoctrination, and it does it by relying on ubiquitous concepts like fatherhood, friendship, alienation, rejection, and perseverance in the face of adversity. It's exactly what a TMNT movie should be, a fun outing with the Turtles full of wisecracks, kung fu, and ninja weapon-enabled violence. Mutant Mayhem does something, though, that most modern reboots don't bother to. It respects the history of its legacy characters while weaving the franchise's pre-existing lore into this new version. And the result is, overall, a solid movie that's fun to watch. And despite some noticeable, changes to certain characters' designs.
Fact.
They all act the way you'd expect them to based on their previous portrayals. I'm talking their ethics, their character, how they respond to situations. So at the same time that Mutant Mayhem honors their characters, they also bring the Turtles and April into, I guess, 2023 without it ever feeling overtly topical. We actually got a more traditional kind of story about a group of young men that are torn between loyalty to their dad and the calling that they feel to be a part of the outside world. It's your basic the band gets together story. It's simple, lighthearted, and has hardly any fat in the plot.
You sure about that?
Hey, I said hardly. But seriously, Mutant Mayhem doesn't waste any of its lean 99-minute runtime. Mutant Mayhem opens up right away with the villain's origin story and then jumps ahead 15 years to the present day with the Turtles out on the town for the night using their ninja skills to steal food and supplies for their underground sewer home. We're given the impression that the Turtles all long to join the surface world, but upon meeting Splinter, their adopted rat dad, it's made clear that they've been raised to fear everything about it, especially people. As fate would have it though, one night a Ninja Turtle throwing star makes its way into April O'Neil's head. Well, her helmet anyway, and while she's busy yelling at the Ninja Turtles, she gets her bike stolen. So, feeling bad and wanting to redeem themselves, the Turtles follow the thief back to a chop shop where they're then confronted by a bunch of violent thieves. They start off with a few mistakes, but the end result is the Turtles' first official crime-fighting victory, and after a proper introduction to April, who we discover is an outcast in her own right, she proposes writing a story about the Turtles' heroic crime-fighting antics. Tempted by the prospect of popularity, as any teenager would be, they agree, unifying April and the Turtles in the goal of overcoming their shared status as pariahs. So together, they get to work investigating the key members of a crime syndicate who have been making headlines for stealing advanced tech all over town. They start off with nothing more than the name of the mysterious figure orchestrating it all, Superfly, a literal superfly. From there, the Ninja Turtles fight their way up the crime syndicate's chain of command, beating the shit out of everybody to get the answers they need, while April documents it all from the shadows.
Okay.
Eventually, they secure details for Superfly's next pickup of stolen tech and plan a sting operation. Things don't exactly go according to plan, though, when the Ninja Turtles are embraced by Superfly and his gang of mutants. And after spending the night partying with them, they begin to have second thoughts, until Superfly reveals his plan to subjugate humanity by using the stolen tech to build a machine capable of mutating every animal on the planet.
Why?
It's enough to compel the Turtles to do the right thing and attempt to steal the final piece of tech needed to finish the device, but they end up getting their asses kicked, crashing their van, and then getting captured by the shady organization known as TCRI. April, having witnessed everything from the shadows, leaves to get Splinter's help, while at TCRI, the Ninja Turtles learn more about the ooze that made them. Splinter arrives, frees the Turtles, and together they head out to stop Superfly. Splinter and the Turtles arrive and convince the other mutants to turn against Superfly, and together they push him and his mutation device into the Bay Harbor, transforming Superfly into Super Duper Fly, a kaiju mutant made up of mostly aquatic animals.
That's brilliant. It's in the movie done.
Super Duper Fly then goes Godzilla on the city, and as the Ninja Turtles attempt to stop him, they find themselves being vilified by the local news, who begins reporting a mass mutant attack.
Because of the implication.
Realizing that society may not ever really accept them, the Turtles resolve to be heroes anyway and continue to defend the city they love. Meanwhile, April makes her way to the news station, gets on air, and reports the truth about the Turtles, explaining how they're trying to help. Her live report sways the New Yorkers on the street to support the Turtles along with the other mutants, and they all work together to defeat Super Duper Fly. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are recognized by the city as heroes and achieve their dream of attending high school, alongside April O'Neil, who finally establishes herself as a journalist, having overcome her previous humiliation. And finally, the mutants find a new home in the sewers alongside Splinter and the Turtles. And after a nice little montage of the Turtles thriving in high school, we cut to TCRI, who's monitoring them, stating that they have someone capable of taking the Turtles down, as the movie ends with a brief glimpse of
the Shredder.
Is it a perfect movie? No. It's a Nickelodeon movie, but as far as Ninja Turtles movies go, this is a lot better than most. Mutant Mayhem has a surprisingly tight script that goes neatly from beginning to middle to end without overstaying its welcome or lingering too long on any one scene.
Lingerer, man.
Yeah, totally.
Linger.
And utilizing a lesser-known villain whose motivations we understood helps strengthen the overall quality of the story as well. Ice Cube is maniacal as Superfly. He's a ruthless villain, unapologetic about his goals or the methods that he's employing to achieve them. And as far as the art style this movie goes, if I'm being completely honest, it might work for you, it might not. To me, it's like this weird mix between Hey Arnold and Into the Spider-Verse. The design of New York City looks really great as well. It's got this grungy feel that you just don't get in movies anymore. The grime, the graffiti. Cities are always portrayed as being so clean now, like there aren't rats on every block. And speaking of, it is worth mentioning just how good Jackie Chan is as Splinter, the overbearing but reliably protective father figure and sensei to the Ninja Turtles.
Anytime you need more, call me.
Where Mutant Mayhem really succeeds, though, is in getting the Ninja Turtles right. They are and always should be the collective heart of any TMNT movie, regardless of the quality. And between their voice actors' performances and the individual designs of the Turtles, it all makes for a great adaptation that maintains the integrity of the characters. Leonardo, the leader, quick to take charge; Donatello, the soft-spoken brainiac; Raphael, the angry one, always ready for a fight; and Michelangelo, the affable goofball. And finally, April, the gritty reporter, willing to do whatever it takes to get the story. Yeah, they changed April's design for whatever reason, but she's 15 in this, so who really gives a fuck if she's fat? The other thing about it is that in this version, Leo has a big crush on April, and it's like, of course he does. She has got to be the first turtle-shaped woman that this guy has ever met in his life. So really, the shape of April is the least perverted thing about her will they won't they relationship with Leo.
What are the rules? You know what I mean?
Anyway, my point is that the core six, Splinter, April, and the Turtles, are all fundamentally correct, which is more than I can say for another adaptation that Seth Rogen worked on this year.
I don't do voices, and if you want me to be in this movie, he's gonna sound like me, and that's it.
What you looking at, punk?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is a fun, family-focused movie that will please older Turtle fans and bring a whole new generation of younger ones onto the Ninja Turtles pizza van. But it's not trying to reinvent the Turtles, it's reintroducing them for a new generation.
It's different, but it's also similar in enough ways that it kind of gives you a sense of nostalgia.
And honestly, studios could learn a thing or two from Mutant Mayhem moving forward with the myriad of adaptations, reboots, and sequels based on toys or video games or other pre-existing intellectual properties that are coming our way in the next few years. Because I'll tell you one thing for sure, and two things for certain. It can get a lot worse than Mutant Mayhem. A lot worse.